Hey guys, sorry for the long wait. It's been a busy few weeks. So when we last visited, I was telling you guys about our trip to Disney World. We when we the last video we talked about um, our our first day at Disney, specifically our walk through Disney, downtown Disney. Today we'll talk about day two, in which we visited Hollywood Studios. We actually visited Hollywood Studios on two different days, but the first visit through Hollywood was the most extensive. Um, we Because it was my 31st birthday, we went to Galaxy's Edge first. Galaxy's Edge is the Star Wars theme section of Hollywood Studios. We rode the Rise of the Resistance ride, the Millennium Falcon ride, and the Star Tours ride, all of which were a lot of fun. The Rise of the Resistance ride is definitely the most work was put into it because it's multifaceted. Part of it is live action, part of it is screen projected special effects. Some of it is animatronics, some of it is actors in suits and costumes. It was just a lot of fun. I really thoroughly enjoyed it. I enjoyed being in the little speeder vehicle and trying to escape from the AT-AT walker as it's shooting at you. I love the Kylo Ren blade coming down through the ceiling of the room that we were standing in. It was all a lot of fun. Interestingly enough, Rise of the Resistance canonically links to the Star Tours ride, because the Star Tours ride is about the events that lead up to the Resistance landing on Batuu, and then the Rise of the Resistance ride is about the rebels on Batuu and trying to escape the First Order there. And I don't remember all the details since it's been a few months back since we rode those rides, but big picture, those two rides linked together story and plot wise. So that was really cool, and I appreciate that Disney actually put together a story behind these rides and these theme parks, and making it a part of the Star Wars universe. It makes you really feel like you're walking into the films in that sense by doing that. The Star Tours ride, for those of you that haven't rode that before, you sit in these what look like theater seats, and the seats move a little. They move a little bit sideways, and generally they move about just enough to simulate the feeling of being in a spaceship as it's being hit by laser bolts from a TIE fighter, and that was a lot of fun. So if you get a chance to ride Star Tours, you should. They've also got some cool photo ops, a big Imperial Walker standing outside of the building. It's always cool to stand next to the foot, acting like you're about to be crushed. That was really fun. All the actors were the Disney staff. Everybody in Disney staff have to remain in character most, if not the entire time. The stormtroopers and the Imperial officers have to act very abrasive, not abusive, but they have to be a little edgy. They have to have that edge to make you feel like you're dealing with bad guys. So that was cool. Kylo Ren was cool. Rey and Chewie, getting to meet Rey and Chewie was a lot of fun. Chewie actually sifted through my bag a little bit, acting like he was wanting food, I guess. But Rey called him off, and they went on their way. So that was really funny. The Millennium Falcon ride was a lot of fun. It's simpler than Rise of the Resistance. You get inside the ship, and you're sitting with 3 or 4 other people, like in a cockpit, and each of you are gunners, and you're trying to hit TIE fighters as you're escaping. So that was pretty cool. All of the shopkeepers act very in character. If you ask them a question that's Star Wars related, they'll talk as if they're in the Star Wars films. All of the shops in the spaceships, the X-Wings, everything looks very rustic. The droids look very rustic. It's really kind of makes it look like a worn down outer rim planet, which I respect the level of detail and work that the Imagineers put into it, put into building the park. After we visited Galaxy's Edge, we then went over to the Toy Story section of the park. We rode the Slinky ride. The Slinky ride is a roller coaster, a lot of fun. There was a bumper car ride that was alien themed. It was the little aliens from Toy Story. That was a cute little ride. There was another ride that we rode before we hit the bumper car ride. I don't remember specifically. I'll have to ask my wife about it. There was another Toy Story. There was one or two other Toy Story rides that we rode that were a lot of fun. But it's been a few months and I'm getting older, so bear with my piss poor memory. Let's see. We did the Pixar park or section of the park. We then went back through the middle of Hollywood Studios and looked through the different little shops and stores. We tried to go on the Tower of Terror where my wife used to work when she was in the college program. But I think the wait was about 2 hours long. It was late in the day, so it was going to take a while. I think one of the elevators was closed, so the wait was a lot longer than it normally should have been. So we went back a few days later to ride the Tower of Terror, which I'll talk more about later. But we stuck around, watched the fireworks. The fireworks display was a lot of fun. Hollywood Studios, guys, if you get a chance to hit Hollywood, to go to Disney World, you've got to go to Hollywood Studios. It may not be the favorite for kids that have just been introduced to Disney. Magic Kingdom is more geared towards that. But for nerds, sci-fi nerds, Hollywood Studios is a must. So you got to check it out. In another video, I'll tell you guys more about our second trip back to our loop back around to Hollywood Studios on I think it's on day 4. We went back to do the build a lightsaber shop where I got to build my own lightsaber. My wife paid for me to build a lightsaber for my 31st birthday. That's the lightsaber you see me posing with a lot on the Facebook page. There's some, and we do get to ride Tower of Terror on our second trip back to Hollywood Studios. That'll be another video. But the follow-up video will be our trip to Magic Kingdom. Magic Kingdom obviously is, for a lot of you, you may know, there's the fantasy section of Magic Kingdom, and then there's the more futuristic section of Magic Kingdom. On day 2, day 3 of our Disney World trip, we hit most of the fantasy rides, which we'll talk about next. That'll be like Pirates of the Caribbean, Jungle Cruise, and Haunted Mansion, things like that. It was a lot of fun, and I look forward to talking to you guys more about it. So have a good evening, and I will visit with you guys soon. Hopefully sooner than in between the last video and this video. So have a good evening guys.